Okay, folks, protect your car just in time for spring with the help of the professionals at Rad-Air Complete Car Care. So Andy Fiffick is here, and we're just always fun talking because car guys, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going like, well, I got this thing. It's almost like medical guys being hypochondriacs. But, like one of the things people always ask about or talk about is changing the oil. Should I change my oil every 3,000 miles? Or they brag they do it every 3,000 miles.
Well, that's a good question. We hear that one all the time. The old adage was change oil every 3,000 miles. But, a lot has changed since then. The vehicles are better, but also the better engines have more close tolerances, so they actually are more susceptible.
More friction.
To having more dirt in the oil actually causes more damage. More sludge causes more damage. And then also, years ago, we didn't have synthetic oils that we have now. And then there's blend oils, which is half synthetic, half traditional oil. So the number one thing you really should always look at is your owner's manual and make sure you do whatever that says. However, that being said, the owner's manual has two schedules. One is for regular duty and one is for severe duty. So you got to kind of look at what you're doing with your vehicle to look at that schedule. And in most cases, in Cleveland, Ohio, our schedule would say we're under severe duty with the way our weather is, especially this past winter. It's been pretty tough on our cars. So a good rule of thumb is whatever that schedule says. But that being said, if you tow a boat or you overload the car or you do short trips, that is severe duty. So I would say look at your schedule and then talk to your mechanic. Your mechanic knows your car, knows you, and if you have that relationship with them, they're going to tell you what's best for you. But if you're using synthetic oil, 5,000 miles is a good judge, maybe up to 7,500 miles. But also, some of these newer vehicles, like a lot of the GMC products, are having that problem with the engines going bad. That's because the oil intervals are a little too long. So you want to actually cut that one back a little bit and change it more frequent. So it comes down to trust your mechanic, talk to them about it, and do whatever they say is best.
How about making a mistake using the wrong oil, like synthetic versus?
Well, if your vehicle calls for synthetic, you must use synthetic. Don't use traditional in there because you can do damage. So again, go back to whatever your manual says, and every oil cap under your hood is going to tell you what to put in there. That's what you should use.
Okay, so you have gauges for all that, and you can read it and figure it out. But how about brake fluid? Should you ever change the brake fluid, or do you add the brake fluid? What's the brake fluid
Well,
story?
to me, brakes on your car is, to me, the most safety item on your vehicle. You got to stop. Now, brake systems are very robust today. You have anti-lock brakes, which also is part of your traction control of your vehicle and your stability control. That helps you keep the car on the road because your anti-lock brake system is also part of your stability of the vehicle. If you go to swerve off the road, your brake system actually keeps you on the road also. So your brakes are very important. So you want to flush the brake fluid out, recommended, again, whatever the manual says. And most vehicles are about every 50 or 100,000 miles, or 3 to 5 or 10-year range. So again, the average vehicle on the road today is about 13 years old. So that brake fluid should have been changed twice, maybe 3 times already. So it is very important because the anti-lock brake system is very expensive. If you flush that out, brake fluid is hygroscopic. It loves to absorb moisture. The moisture makes it corrode, and you get very expensive parts that when they corrode, it gets expensive to change. So change your brake fluid whenever it's said to be done.
We talked about tire inflation a lot. I know when the weather changed a little bit, I saw people's tires coming off their cars because they didn't check the inflation, all that sort of thing. How often should you check inflation, and what do you inflate it to? There's a number on the side of the tire, or what?
Okay, every tire has a maximum load and a maximum inflation pressure put on the side, but that's not what you inflate to. That's under the maximum you want. Look inside the door jamb of your driver's door. There's going to be a tag that shows you exactly the pressure recommended for that vehicle.
Front and back.
The front and back. It's going to say, and it may be different front and back. So because some cars have different tires front and back. So when you look at the tire tag in the door jamb, it's going to tell you the pressure for that tire on that car. And you may have different tires listed there, so make sure it's matching the tire that's on your car.
And you probably shouldn't check them while they're hot and warmed up.
No, that's always a cold inflation pressure you want to check. And as temperature rises, the pressure is going to go up. and vice versa. When the temperature drops, the pressure is going to drop.
That's why we saw those tires coming off in the winter.
Yeah. Well, when the pressure drops every 10 degrees, the temperature goes down, tire pressure goes down 1 pound.
There you go.
So this time of the year, as it's warming up, well, not yesterday and the day before, but as temperatures go up, the pressure is going to go up also.
Okay, here's the deal. Because we can't get all the answers to all the questions right now, we're going to do Ask Andy in the last section of the show today. So send your car care questions in to newdaycleveland@fox8.com, and we will figure out what's going on with your question and get you some very good answers. Again, email or message us, and we will get those questions answered later in the hour.